Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Welcome to Women's Economic Empowering New Media Digital Upskilling WEDU Seminar. This is a 3-day event. During the event, we will discuss many topics. We hope everyone can join us for 3 days and benefit a lot from this seminar. Our theme for this wonderful event is innovation, inspiration, and inclusion. Today's seminar, our host is the Ministry of Labor and Workforce Development Agency. To begin our event, let us now welcome our host. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome with our applause for the opening and welcome remarks. Please welcome Director General of Workforce Development Agency, Ministry of Labor, Mr. Men Liang Cai. Welcome.
APEC HRDWG Lee Sheffer, Professor Dongsen Park. APEC PPWE Chair Ms. Rennie Graham, and Cbn Coordinator Ms. Rosanna Arnetta. Delegates of APEC economies, distinguished guests, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. On behalf of Workforce Development Agency, Ministry of Labor, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude and a warm welcome to all of you joining us today for Innovation, Inspiration, Inclusion, Women's Economy Empowering New Media Digital Upskilling Seminar. In addition, I genuinely appreciate the participation of our keynote speakers. In response to change in the environment driven by digital technology, delivering the right mix of skills both to meet individual needs and to match the requirement of the labor market will inevitably become the primary goal in the field of human resource development. In addition, fostering diversity, equality, and inclusion attract talent from different backgrounds, viewpoints, and experience is the starting point for the industry to move toward more sustainable and resilient growth. Committed to promote employment for all, we have launched by WEDU project since 2019. Project objective to explore new vision and ways to participate more activity in the digital economy through new media. While the future is increasingly ambiguous and too complex to predict, there is an emergent opportunity for the imaginative, innovative, and bold marketing leaders to create the future. This year, we developed the Power of Gender in Digital Marketing training package that integrated the gender perspective, digital technology, and marketing strategies. It will not only activate communication skills and creative thinking, but also keep women agers while staying responsive to the workforce and broader external influence with cross-cutting skills. In the next phase, the training package will stay abreast of advancement and play a powerful role in providing high-quality capacity-building program. We will make it a practical guide to promote critical talent with skills and competencies that are essential to digital economies. All of you, as women, MSMEs, and other groups with updated potentials, are not just talent. You are pioneers and leaders who will define inspiration, innovation, and inclusion. Let me finally wish you a successful virtual seminar and assure you that we will spare no efforts to deepen cooperation in talent cultivation and achieve a prosperous, energetic, and inclusive APEC regions. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director General Tsai. Thank you. Next, let us welcome Liz Shepherd of APAC Human Resources Development Working Group, Mr. Dongsun Park, to give us a speech. Welcome.
Honorable guests, delegates from APEC members, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great pleasure to deliver the opening remark of this important seminar. I am very grateful for this opportunity to discuss this forum's theme, Innovation, Inspiration, and Inclusion in APAC, particularly on women's economic empowering through new media digital upskilling. APEC acknowledges the importance of gender equality and has made significant progress since its inception. For instance, the APEC Economic Policy Report, or AEPR 2020, addresses the issue of the role of structural reform in gender empowerment. The AEPR 2020 states, empowering women to participate fully in economic undertakings is essential for creating strong economies and inclusive societies. Thus, APEC member economies are encouraged to set policies and practices which can help women to have equal opportunities. The Seminar-Roadmap for Women and Inclusive Growth 2019 to 2030 also emphasizes the greater integration and empowerment of women in areas such as access to education, family income and assets, employment, credit, financial services, leadership positions, affordable childcare services, and prevention of violence against women. I'm confident that today's seminar will promote women's capacity building in new media, marketing sectors. Furthermore, today's seminar will be the start line to realize women's socio-economic inclusion in APAC, where digital skills are most needed. With these backgrounds, I deeply appreciate Chinese Taipei for hosting this seminar. I also express my deep appreciation for APEC Secretariat for funding the project with the help APEC Support Fund, Women and Economy Subfund. Last but not least, I'd like to deliver my heartfelt appreciation to everyone for attending this important seminar. Thank you very much for your time and contribution. I wish you all a great success.
Thank you so much, Professor Dongsun Park. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, now let us welcome Chair of APAC Policy, Partnership of Women in the Economy, Ms. Renee Graham, to address us. Welcome.
Tēnā koutou katoa. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for having me as part of the seminar today. It's a pleasure to be able to speak with you. I'd like to take the opportunity to thank our colleagues from Chinese Taipei for organising this event and also for your ongoing support and commitment to the policy partnership on women and the economy. It's my pleasure to have been the chair of APEC's PPWE work stream this year, and I'm proud of what we've achieved for women and girls over the past year. We know that economies stand to benefit substantially from gender equality and women's economic empowerment, including through greater productivity, increased incomes, and other positive development outcomes. By enabling women to fully participate in and benefit from all areas of economic growth, we all stand to gain. That is why one of New Zealand's key priorities for APEC in 2021 has been to increase inclusion and sustainability for recovery, to enhance the participation of all groups and ensure their contributions are valued. The disproportionate impact COVID-19 on women and girls has set back our progress significantly. And this has reinforced the need for targeted efforts to build capacity, increase resilience, and address the barriers that women continue to face. Digital transformation provides new avenues for the economic empowerment of women and can contribute to greater gender equality, yet challenges remain around inclusive access to and use of these technologies. We need to collectively seize the opportunities before us in order to achieve greater gender equality in the labour market, boost economic growth, and build a more inclusive digital world. Indeed, no one group or economy can do this on its own. Achieving meaningful change for women requires effort from across the board, from all parts of the APEC structure and region. Everyone can play a part in driving forward this change. Fittingly, at the first set of PPWE officials meetings in May this year, we focused on digital inclusion for women and girls. We had a number of presentations from APEC members about how they are working to embed digital inclusion initiatives in their economies, and some great discussion on this topic. This was also one of the key themes from the high-level discussion at the Women in the Economy Ministerial Forum in September. It was heartening to see the commitment across APEC region to enable support women to engage with and thrive in the digital economy and future work. It is clear that digital inclusion and ensuring that women have equal access to necessary capabilities and tools to achieve this is an important part of enabling women's empowerment and economic growth as we collectively recover from COVID-19 pandemic. And this will be a fantastic tool to add to this information. The Women in the Economy Forum culminated in adoption of an ambitious statement, which included a commitment to the full and accelerated implementation of the Seminar Roadmap for Women and Inclusive Growth that Dr. Park just spoke about. The statement further committed to promoting equal access to digital skills training, STEM, access to finance, and other business enabling technology. By promoting equal opportunities to safely and meaningfully access and use digital tools, as well as to lead and design technology and innovation, women and girls can play a leading role in the accelerated digitalization of our economies. To make progress in this space, though, it's essential to counter gender stereotypes and discrimination in education, training, and skills development. The roadmap will continue to anchor and guide the work of PPWE, and its implementation stands to contribute significantly to the APEC region's economic and recovery. Going forward, we hope to see a strong focus on quality as well as increase in the range of activities progressed, including to support women's education, training, skills development, and access to leadership positions. Thank you again for inviting me to meet with you today, and I'd like to sincerely thank again our colleagues from Chinese Taipei for leading this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Graham, for the inspiring speech. Next, let us welcome Ms. Rosanna Arnetta, Coordinator of Capacity Building Network, APAC Human Resources Development Working Group. Welcome.
Mr. Meng Liang Chai, Director General, Workforce Development Agency, Ministry of Labor, Professor Dong Sun Park, HRDWG Lead Shepherd, Ms. Tenay Graham, Chair of the Policy Partnership on Women and the Economy, distinguished speakers and panelists, representatives from 21 APEC member economies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my privilege to welcome all of you to the Innovation, Inspiration, Inclusion, Women's Economic Empowering New Media and Digital Upskilling, or WEDU seminar. First, please allow me to express my sincerest gratitude to the Chinese Taipei Cbn team for organizing this seminar. Indeed, strengthening human resources development through technical and vocational training, upskilling, and reskilling to enhance workers' capacity, mobility, and preparedness for the digital age is crucial now more than ever. As our everyday life has become increasingly digital, we must realize that it is also important to integrate a gender perspective in digital marketing, as well as to promote gender-responsive skills development and training, to encourage the increased participation of women in the digital economy. The WEDU seminar aims at identifying new media skills in responding to the labor market needs, as well as developing the training package that will cultivate talented women. With attention paid to vulnerable populations, it further aims to help women realize their potential and explore a wider range of career pathways as we navigate through our new normal way of living. As CBN coordinator, I am very pleased to share that this seminar, in fact, probes on our Cbn Roadmap strategic directions. Together with the APEC CBN member economies, we have created a specialized guideline or plan for a network to facilitate knowledge sharing, skills development, human resource management, and vocational training programs and services that contribute towards post-pandemic recovery and a more resilient and inclusive Asia-Pacific community. The Cbn Roadmap 2021 to 2025 has 4 strategic directions which will be the overarching themes of the network, namely, foster an environment for the cultivation of a new mindset towards capacity building, encourage economies to prioritize strengthening the digital capacity of their constituents through formal and informal means, undertake efforts to reskill and upskill workers in response to post-pandemic economic recovery, and restyle capacity building initiatives to take into consideration new or updated systems, processes, and procedures. Participants to this seminar may also find our Cbn Roadmap helpful in policy planning as well as making strategic directions or decisions in their respective fields. After all, the charm of the capability building network is that it encompasses initiatives on education, labor, and capacity building. In closing, I would like to encourage every economy to actively participate in the seminar because its success will be dependent on all of you. I wish you all very fruitful discussions, and I look forward to hearing how we can, as a network, further promote gender equality and women empowerment in the field of digital marketing. Again, I welcome everyone to this event, and I look forward to the successful output of this seminar. Thank you and good day.
Thank you, Ms. Rosanna Arnetta, for your wonderful speech. Next, I would like to
introduce the background of the distinguished guests here with us today. First, these are the background of Mr. Minliang Cai. His current position is Director General of Workforce Development Agency, Ministry of Labor. His academic background includes on-the-job graduate program of Department Administration and Policy, National Taipei University, and the graduate certificate program of Legal Systems for Civil Servants, Civil Service Education Center of National Chenji University, Bachelor Department of Mechanical Engineering, National Taipei Institute of Technology. His professional experience includes Deputy Director General of Workforce Development Agency, Ministry of Labor, Director of Central Training Center, Bureau of Employment and Vocational Training, Council of Labor Affairs, Director of Foreign Work Division, Bureau of Employment and Vocational Training, Council of Labor Affairs, Senior Specialist of Foreign Workers Division, Bureau of Employment and Vocational Training, Council of Labor Affairs, and also Section Chief of Foreign Workers Division, Bureau of Employment and Vocational Training, Council of Labor Affairs. And another speaker is Professor Dongson Park. Professor Dongson Park is the lead shepherd of the APAC Human Resources Development Working Group, the chairman of the Institute of APAC Collaborative Education, and also professor at Pusan National University, Republic of Korea. As a career diplomat, he served as ambassador of Republic of Korea to Finland and concurrently to Estonia, ambassador for International Economic Cooperation at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, ambassador and deputy permanent representative to OECD and the Consul General at Chengdu, China. Now, I would like to also introduce Ms. Renee Graham. Renee was appointed as Tentumu Wakahire, Chief Executive of the Social Wellbeing Agency in June 2021. Renee has track record of delivering strategic policy agendas and has a strong social policy background and experience across a range of domains, including education and employment. Next, I would like to introduce Ms. Rosanna Arnetta, Coordinator of Capacity Building Network, APAC Human Resources Development Working Group. Time cannot bind her exemplary career in the government, which continues to embody TESDA's pillar of excellence and service to the Filipino community. Her achievement and leadership are testament that hard work and professionalism can propel one's dream into reality. She currently holds the position of Deputy Director General for Policies and Planning with the rank of CESO2. Once again, thanks to all the distinguished guests. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's time for group photo. In order to commemorate this important moment, I would like to invite all the distinguished guests to take a group photo together. It's a great honor to have all the VIPs online and on-site here today. Please, ladies and gentlemen, let us have a wonderful photo for memory. Please look at the camera. Say cheese, smile, big smile. And the second photo is thumbs up. 来，我们请举起大拇指。Say yes. Say yes to the seminar. Yeah, woman empowerment. Yes. Thank you so much. That was a wonderful group photo. And this is a wonderful moment for all of us. Please, everyone, thank you. And also, thanks to all our guests. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this seminar will be carried out for providing a platform for APAC economists to share best practices, data, and experiences that will contribute to fostering capacity building on digital up and reskilling in the area of new media. And the project aims at identifying new media skills for responding to the labor market needs, as well as developing the training package that will help talented women with attention is paid to populations for realizing potential and exploring a wider range of career pathways. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for thematic session 1, an overview of WEDU project. I would like to welcome the representative of Foundation for Women's Rights Promotion to speak for us. Welcome.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Francesca. I represent the WEDU project. I would like to give you an overview of the progress of the WEDU project. When we think about skills, what is most important is that they remain the ability of something to continue to be of value into the future and not become obsolete. From a vocational and technical training perspective, what does the future have in store for all of us?
No one has the answer or all the answers to that question. However, from the perspective of vocational training and versatility and resilience, we can identify 3 important traits. Number 1, we need to be able to identify opportunities. Number 2, we need to use knowledge to minimize the risks by having a clear strategy. Number 3, we need to be able to take actions by continuously reskilling and upskilling for employability. The 3 very important elements are the pillars of the WEDU project. The WEDU project was initiated in 2019 by the Workforce Development Agency, Ministry of Labor, Chinese Taipei. It is funded by the Women's Sub Fund, and it has been carried out up until today. Its acronym is WEDU, and the pronunciation of WEDU sounds like we could do it. So it really underlines our aspirations and hopes for this project. Its aim is to strengthen human resources development through technical and vocational training, up and reskilling to enhance non-traditional candidates' capacity on new media. Now, I would like to talk about the 2 different terms and the definitions of the 2 terms and their significance to this project. The non-traditional candidates refer to those who may not meet traditional job requirements, or those who have backgrounds in other fields. They might be career changers, or they are returning to the workforce after some time away. They could also be those who are picking up job skills through work experience or independent study. In the scope of WEDU, women are at the center of these non-traditional workforce. As women's status, their experience grow as they age, and through the increase of their participation in the labor market, the government is recognizing the importance to invest in women education and upskilling and reskilling. So, on the right-hand side, we have a definition of new media. It refers to innovative models generated by the application of digital technology in information and media, transcending the limitations of time and space. During the execution of WEDU, we were met with setbacks due to the COVID-19. We were impacted by the pandemic, the day-to-day digitalization of our life, and the large-scale shift to remote working and increase in e-commerce are all emerging phenomena. So there's the need for new strategies to support effective workforce transitions. So we need to look at the use of new media in marketing and how they are able to reach a wide range of different audiences. So in the process, a lot of people believe that it is important for us to use strategies to support effective workforce transitions, and how these actually require a large-scale transition over a short period of time. We believe this should be high on the government's agenda. So through research and hosting events, we have been gaining a deeper understanding of these trends and requirements. So through interview and focus group discussions, we are trying to understand whether women are more likely to start a career in the marketing sector. However, there is also the gender inequality that is creating barriers. This is related to their family and job responsibilities. It is also embedded in a wider economic and social context. Therefore, some women find it hard to keep up with the demands of the new labor market. So for the interview and focus group discussions, we are looking at how women can continue to learn and adapt throughout the workforce lives to changing skills and demand in workplace conditions, so that all of them will remain economically productive in the modern time. So in terms of online questionnaires, we use these questionnaires to understand customer experience and build trust through digital technology and gender perspective. We also have identified the following potential challenges. Number one, how to choose the best media tools. Number two, how to set realistic resource management and training goals. Number three, there's a general lack of indicators for operational effectiveness. Number four, there is a lack of methods to connect to the wider supply chain. So we would like to give our thanks to Australia, Chile, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Singapore. We thank them for their input. They've been helping us to gain a better understanding into the labor market requirements, gender perspectives, and how to best work with training institutes to reskill and upskill women to meet the demands of the labor market. So to sum up, we have come up with two different conclusions. Digital marketing and strategy specialists' roles are increasing in demand across different industries. Significant cross-cutting skills will provide opportunities to women. Therefore, we believe that we need to use new thinking and paradigm shifts to rescale and upscale women so that they can meet the demands of the changing labor market. So this lies at the heart of our training package. We are combining these elements of digital technology, gender perspectives, and marketing strategies to create diverse and inclusive content so that they could enhance their own employability and fulfill their potential. So when we talk about risks for the future, becoming future-proof is not only skills, but also attitude that will help us overcome these challenges. Here we have gender perspective and digital technology and marketing strategies. In terms of gender perspective, we need to focus on diversity, equality, and inclusion. And in terms of digital technology, we need to promote flows of knowledge across different disciplines. In terms of marketing strategy, we need to create adaptable and resilient workforce. Here, we have another three aspects: market analysis, strategic planning, and performance analysis, so that we can gain a better and more dynamic understanding of the participants' needs and their expectations, as well as helping corporations to develop differentiated marketing strategies to tap into new markets. And internally, we will be looking at how to support different talents to engage in new marketing and these new industries, so that we have hence based our online marketing training package on these research findings. So this concludes my introduction to the WEDU project. I would like to thank you for your ongoing support, and I look forward to further collaborating with you in the future. Thank you.
WEDU project. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe it's time for a 15-minute break. Let us take a tea break. People who are watching online, please come back to watch the live streaming after the break. Thank you for your cooperation. It is time to come back for our next session. I hope you enjoyed your tea break. And now, it is time for thematic session 2, integrating a gender perspective into new media. Our moderator for this session is Ms. Lingshan Huang, Vice President of Foundation for Women's Rights, Promotion and Development. Now, let us hand the floor over to our moderator. Please welcome Vice President Huang. 欢迎黄副执行长。
Good afternoon, everyone. I trust that everybody now has a clear understanding of the WEDU project. And in this session, we are honored to invite Secretary General Dr. Zhang and Dr. Hu to share with us why new media needs a gender perspectives and how it create opportunity for different sectors to enter the digital economy space. And let me remind you, if you have any questions, please write your question in the chat box, and we will address them in the following Q&A section. First, I would like to invite Dan Dan to share her opinions. And let me just briefly introduce Dan Dan. Dan Dan Zhang is a feminist, and she found FLAME, right? Okay. A feminist organization that works on gender equal across to technology with a particular interest in information technology, health technology, and agriculture technology. And also, she's working on LGBT movement buildings and creating an inclusive feminist movement. Now, let's welcome Dan Dan. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Zhang Dan Dan. I'm the executive director of a local feminist organization, FLAME. So its name actually is Feminist Leadership and Mobilization on the Edge. So FLAME is its a name in short. So we, as a new established organization, we work on gender equal access to technology. Since we see an increasing population being marginalized in the digital age due to their limited knowledge of technology, their limited access to technology, and their limited capacity of using technology. In our projects, we focus on 3 different axes, including the access to information technology, the access to long-term care technology, and the access to agricultural technology. It is a huge privilege today to share my thoughts here about how to integrate gender perspective into digital marketing and brand culture development. The importance of technology gets particular attention in the agenda. Oh, sorry, I forgot the PowerPoint. Okay, the importance of technology gets particular attention in the agenda of Sustainable Development Goals. Access to education has greatly increased for both boys and girls. The spread of information and communication technology and global interconnectedness has great potential to accelerate human progress, to bridge the digital divide, and to develop knowledge societies, as does scientific and technological innovations across areas as diverse as medical and energy. So that is why you can see many objectives and goals within SDGs are relevant to access to technology. Not only that, technology is believed to have the potential to accelerate gender equality and to empower women and girls. The agreed conclusion adopted by UN Commission of the Status of Women in 2017 recognized that new technologies which are changing the structure of labor markets provide new and different employment opportunities that require women and girls to acquire new skills. In the document, the Commission urges governments to enhance ICT education for girls and ensure technological change to promote women's economic empowerment. It is an international consensus that access to technology is vital right for women and girls. Indeed, digitalization offers a variety of opportunities for women empowerment and for more equal women participation in labor markets, financial markets, and entrepreneurship. Since 2019, Flame began to conduct a series of exhibitions visiting women in the agriculture industry and illustrating their stories about technology through the exhibition. Via this project, we were able to learn the first-hand stories about what kind of changes that technology brought to women in the industry. Firstly, information and communication technologies could help women access new markets, work flexibly and distantly. I want to share a story of Pei here, who started her career as a fruit farmer, but later established her own e-commerce company that sells fruit in season. With her e-platform, Pei hopes to have direct conversation between farmers and consumers, letting consumers learn more about where and how their food come from. So the consumers can learn why the price of fruits coming from small farmers are affected through this transparent information platform. So she can build a sustainable trade relationship with her consumers with mutual trust. During the pandemic, the export of fruits was deeply influenced. Pei not only succeeded in selling out all her fruits, but also helped other farms in her neighborhood sell their products through her e-platform. Meanwhile, Pei is also a mother of 2 children. Technology provides her the flexibility to play multiple roles at the same time. Second, women quite often possess superior social skills, which can expect increasing rewards on labor markets in the digital age. Another story I want to share here is about another entrepreneur. Its name is Tian Wenshe in Chinese, which means a newspaper office that dedicates to news about farmland in English. The business was started by 2 women who became farmers a couple years ago with little knowledge of farming. As newbies in the industry, it is easy to imagine how poor harvest they will get. However, they didn't end up as traditional farmers or leaving the industry. Instead, they started a new business, recording their daily farming life as newbies through cute illustrations and humorous writings, spreading them through social media platforms. Their social media platform soon attracted many followers who were amazed by the life they described and the creativity they showed. And these followers later became the loyal supporter for their products. Now, the entrepreneur sells various products they developed, such newspaper, designed hats, stickers, and even socks. Of course, now they also sell farm products since they finally succeeded in farming. Tian Wenshe may not be a successful, traditional successful farmer since their harvest is still not very much. But they're successful entrepreneurs who use social media and multimedia devices to build its branding and to create its unique commercial value. This success is hard to imagine without the intervention of technology. Third, women's social skills advantage could be developed even further with advanced digital literacy, which becomes a core requirement in the digital age. A report established by EU in 2014 shows women represent 78% of one-person enterprises in the field, such as social services, social work, healthcare, and education, particularly in the tech sector. Obviously, digital tools are giving them the chance to build a business from home and create unique work schedules. However, we also have to confront the reality that women and girls continue to face gender-based barriers that prevent them from accessing and utilizing technology and digital tools. Traditional roles and gender stereotypes still barring women and girls from accessing technology. Many women are still missing out on opportunities to become familiar with technology and and learning basic ICT skills that would be invaluable for them in the labor market. A group we always ignore when we talk about digital literacy is senior women. The risk of poverty among older women has been a significant global issue, which has been addressed by several UN agencies, such as WHO and UN Women. Older women are not just struggling for secured income, but also in urgent needs for basic health care with little access to public resources. With the population of information and communication, with the popularity of information and communication technology, older women are further marginalized in both public space and labor market due to their limited access to ICT. Promoting senior women's access to technology is important, especially in countries that are confronting increasing aging population. Another reality we need to confront is that many technologies that we are using today are not gender neutral, and women's perspective, priorities, and needs are not reflected and accommodated in the products and service. This is just like the public toilet planning. In the past, men and women toilet facilities tend to be constructed in the same size. But now, more and more women's toilet is constructed bigger than men's, since studies show that women require more time to use cubicles. And we even have gender-friendly toilet right now. The technology product development can learn a good lesson from our public toilets journey. Apple Watch could be a successful example. When it was launched, there was no period tracker function, although it claimed the watch can help track the wearer's health status. But how can you track a woman's health status by ignoring her period? So now you can see the period tracker function in your Apple Watch, and you can see similar functions were released by many other products. The digital gender gap not just influences individuals' life, it also negatively impacts countries' potential for economic growth and development. A 2015 study by the McKinsey Global Institute found that $12 trillion could be added to the global economy by 2025 through advancing women's equality. The report listed technology as one of the 6 key gender gaps that need to be bridged in order for women to be able to reach their full potential. By acknowledging the role of technology in promoting gender equality and boost the economy, what can we do as decision makers, as NGOs, and as private sectors in our region? First, there is a long way to go to promote women's access to technology and to improve women's ability to use technology effectively. Decision makers can play a crucial role in this process by integrating digital empowerment into the existing professional trainings and resources provided by governments. Private sectors can also distribute certain resources in developing their women staff's digital ability in their internal staff trainings and team buildings. Second, women entrepreneurs still need more flexible resources that can help them recognize and pursue more opportunities in the digital age. Through the stories I just shared, we can see digitalization is likely to create new opportunities for entrepreneurs or for women who want to be entrepreneurs. Last but not least, technology companies and technology developers take a crucial responsibility of bridging the digital gap. In order to promote women's meaningful access to technology, we need technologies that are designed based on people of all genders' perspective, needs, and capacities. All in all, promoting women's equal access to technologies is much more than an issue of gender equality. It is an essential part of the economic, social, and political development of the countries. It is vital to find ways to empower women to participate in designing, building, and leading our shared digital future. Thank you. That's all my sharing.
Thank you, Dan Dan. Thank you for your wonderful insight. And now we are going to do is to invite Dr. Hu to give another insight. And Dr. Hu, she's a professor of National Unit University, and she's devoted to culture, creativity, and digital marketing. Now let's welcome her.
各位与会的嘉宾，大家 Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I think I would like to end on the question, why do new media need a gender perspective? This can be divided into 5 parts. First one is new media. That's also meaning digital media and digital media application in marketing. This is very important and the influence of the digital media.
Especially when it comes to gender. Third, I'll talk about why do we need to have gender perspective in new media. And fourth, I will share with you some case studies for further discussions. I'll talk about the objectification and also gender discrimination, also gender myths, that is the blindness to gender. Finally, I'll talk about the gender statistics as my conclusion. So first of all, when we talk about new media, what is digital media? The difference between traditional media and digital media is that when it comes to traditional media, it uses the mechanical devices or device to spread the news to the public. So the role of the media is to spread information, to provide entertainment. So for example, newspaper, TV, radio, broadcasts, they belong to the traditional media. So for example, they come in the form of 2D. When I work in China Productivity Center, every time when there were any government activities, for example, products made in Taiwan, when we need to have a campaign, all I needed to do is to share information to the cable television and also to the newspaper. But now it's so much different. Now, we know that digital media, the most important thing is that the content remains the same, but what has changed is the vehicle or the devices. The traditional media had the authority, and it was one-way communication, and you can say it has occupied the commanding height of the right to speak. That is, through traditional media, we could quickly spread knowledge, information, and educate the public. However, now, well, with the emergence of digital media, we know that since 1969, since the emergence of the internet, people can access to the information at different time, location, reaching different target, and information can be spread very quickly. So we can see the new digital media has disrupted the traditional commanding heights of the right to speak from the traditional media. So the new digital media has great immediacy and great efforts to spread information. So we have seen a great surge in its spread. So I think that's a very important feature of new digital media. So a very important element of new media is the vehicle or the device. That is, you need to have a very clear idea. You know, everything is connected. Everything is connected to the media. So they all come in a form of digitalization. So we can use the internet, our cell phone, or digital television. They are the new forms of new media. So after the emergence of the new media, so we can have the 2D, 3D or 4D forms of media or universe now we've been talking about. So a lot of ways of promoting culture and education have become more accessible. We can even use the AR or VR or MR in the new media. And throughout the process, for women, I think the spread of new media is very important because we can use our own soft power. Around the world, you can see we started the development from agriculture to manufacturing sector and then to the service sector. Now we have entered the fourth wave, that is the cultural and creative industry. I've been in this field for over a decade. That is, I've been promoting the cultural and creative industry. For example, audio and visual, fashion design, creative lifestyle, and so on. So the rapid development of Taiwan's cultural and creative development are closely related to the role of women, because the traditional manpower can be put to create new ideas through the use of new media. So by having micro enterprises, women can actually start their own businesses. So we know that the power of the text can showcase the feature of women. So we know that when it comes to the craftsmanship of women, for example, there have been a lot of exhibitions related to women's craftsmanship. When it comes to innovating the tradition by using digital media, women actually can occupy a large market. For example, when we talk about placemaking, actually, a lot of women can play a role. They can work from home. For example, like what I say, in the morning, people may use the plow to go to the field. And in the afternoon, women can use their mouse through their computer, through digital media. They can use Facebook or Instagram. They can present their texts or their products. They can have online marketing. So I think this is closely related to new digital media. Or now when we talk about the new digital media, we have the digital exhibitions, MR and VR, where we can use facial recognition technology for education. So we know that the greatest feature of new media is that it's extremely convenient. It's a two-way street, and it's very efficient. Meanwhile, it has great timeliness. Digital media can be presented in the forms of audio, video, or language or texts, or words or photos. They can be spread very quickly in different forms, so that the products or the ideas can be exhibited quickly. So I think in the labor market, we do see a lot of women entrepreneurs. As mentioned before, I believe that this will be a great market for the women entrepreneurs. They can run their business by themselves. Also, the new media provides a great opportunity for initiatives and involvement for women. So very quickly, a lot of participants can have two-way communication with the consumers. When using Facebook or Instagram, a lot of my students are producing their own podcasts, or they want to be influencers. So by having these roles, they can have great interaction with the audience. So the new media has disrupted the role of the traditional media. So it's user-centric, and it's focusing on the consumer, it's focusing on the users. We can say that the new media has disrupted the traditional media, and it can has real-time reporting. So generally speaking, is based on the precise marketing. For example, through podcasts or through the data, you can have further analysis. And also when it comes to education, we can say that the new media is a new force of power. By using digital media's penetration, it can account for a higher share in a market. So when marketing the texts online, we do see a great advantage from women because of their capability or their sense of aesthetics. Moving on, when we talk about the new media, as mentioned before, new media is an environment and content is king. What isn't changed is the content, but what has changed is the change in the vehicles. For example, it is seen on the internet, on a cell phone, or on a computer. So since the beginning of human history, we can say that never before have the consumer have such great power because by clicking or sharing, by forwarding information, they have great initiative. Let me share with you some numbers. At least in Taiwan, we have over 80 emerging internet media, and they may be amateurs, but we know that there are a lot of upskilling methods. So these content creators can improve their capability. So in Taiwan, we have over 100 television channels. So you can see the threshold of spreading information has become lowered. So it has become more flexible. I think that also shows the strong impact of digital media. Also, there are several methods to show the influence of new media. That is through the use of the internet. For now, we can use the cell phone or internet to access the content, but I believe that more and more new methods will be invented in the future with the rise of the ICT. Now maybe we can have the Internet of Brains in the future, so we can see exponential growth for the development of the new media. So let me share with you this slide. As you can see, the influence of new media. So first of all, it's easy to use, and it has high penetration and wide coverage. So you can see the clicks or the traffic on the internet or the number of fans following the page and also the traffic. They're huge. Last year, the CATW, counter trafficking for women. So what they did was to fight against human trafficking. So in Italy, there was a video clip called Baby. So sex trafficking was described as a way to be cool, but CATW has worked with the platform Netflix to show its objection so the information could be spread very quickly. So when it comes to gender equality or gender objectification, it's highly penetrable. But in the meantime, we can also use these new media to show our objection, to remove the wrong information from the market. So you can see, actually, the new digital media can be a double-edged sword. It can make or break the information because we know digital media has high penetration and wide coverage. So I have found some photos related to statistics to share with you. I would like to share with you how digital communication has created the opportunity. So the left on the blue part shows the consumer, and the red part shows the owner. That is the entrepreneurs. From here, you can see when it comes to the integration, immediacy, or it's on the rise. And for the owners can publish the information at all times. They can make corrections. In the past, we only published the paper form journals, but now people are more open to online versions. So now we have published the online journals, so we can provide the latest information. So we can go paperless, and we can take the initiative to have more communication with the readers. Also, from the perspective of the owner, new media is a new business model. So for every woman, we want to live and learn so as to avoid digital divide. Now I'm learning how to create a podcast, how to have quantitative analysis, the analysis of the opinions, and so on. So this shows the overall growth of digital media. So here, I would like to share with you the AI increases influence. Actually, I have merged statistics from two sources. This slide shows the diversity of new media. Since 1979, the emergence of the internet all the way until now, you can see we started to have audio, visual clips, or we go mobile, and now we have e-learning. It has become more and more individualized. And you can see the growth rate for digital media in advertising. So you can see the statistics for traditional and digital media. You can see the share now. Digital media has accounted for 48.4% of the overall media advertising. Now I would like to share with you why do new media need a gender perspective. So I would like to share with you from 5 perspectives. First, it can supervise the government. For example, the income differences. When it comes to recruitment, retention, and promotion, we need to show the women's perspective also. We have to think about the cultural inheritance. Finally, I would like to share with you 4 case studies. Due to the time constraint, allow me to go through them quickly. First, we use content analysis. So first, we would talk about the sex objectification, and also the stereotypes of gender stratification, whether women are inferior, men are superior. The last one is gender interaction myths. You can see these are the areas. So you can see on the commercial, the man is a producer and women have the curls on the hair. So this is a gender stereotype. So when we conduct the analysis, we will see how the media portray the gender roles. So on here, you can see this is the relationship between gender and the product. Let me share with you some examples. So this one is why when it comes to house chores, it's always done by women. But on the right, house chores should be shared by all of the family members. And the next one is in the Middle East, in their advertisement. So you can see, well, thank God I can be a man. All I need to do is to enjoy beer. But for women, the woman has to play so many roles, and I think this is a really misleading commercial. And the third one, we can see the commercials for objectification. So this is a commercial by Coca-Cola. This is such a large company. So in the commercial, milk is splashed on women, so consumers are encouraged to drink milk together. So this is the campaign for their new product for milk. But ET today filed for a objection because this commercial has objectified women. And also in Australia, KFC launched a commercial. So in KFC, they have the drive-through service. So in order to attract the consumers' attention, they use the woman's body to attract consumers' attention. And it has also aroused great objection. So whether for KFC or Coca-Cola, finally, they apologize to the public. But what is done is done. We know that it has been forwarded many times. So when the commercial was launched, 60,000 people saw the commercial. So I think it is vital for them to change their image. Finally, let me share with you some numbers, as mentioned before. In digital media, why we need to have the gender perspectives in new media. I would just want to share with you some simple numbers. So we just study the news for a whole month. We found that 55.24% of the news, 55.24% of the news involves gender discrimination, gender stereotypes, gender class, and gender interaction. So for gender stereotypes, the total number is 482 times, and gender discrimination, it has been mentioned over 100 times. So you can see in these 4 categories, many people working in a media industry and also people in my group, sometimes people are just blind to gender, or sometimes they are subject to gender discrimination. So whether in the labor market or in the upskilling for labor market or even in the new media, definitely it is vital for us to have more promotion and outreach programs so that the public and the workforce can gain a better understanding and put more emphasis on the gender perspectives. I know in every field there are women, so we need to see things from a gender perspective. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hu, for your sharing. I trust it was broaden everybody's perspectives. So for the following discussion, we are honored to have Dr. Zhang and Dr. Hu to join us. And once again, please feel free to leave your questions or comments in the chat box, and we will try to get to them.
Thank you for sharing the facts and numbers with us. You have talked about a lot of the phenomena that we take for granted. For example, gender interaction, gender blindness. They are so pervasive in our daily life, and the indirect or the secondary roles that women play in the labor market, in addition to sexual objectification. You also showed us a photo of an advertisement of a vacuum cleaner featuring a mother cleaning the floor. Children often ask, why is it always the women that are cleaning the floor? However, people in the marketing department may argue that we're selling these appliances to women. That's why we feature women in the advertisement. So they do not see that they are headed in the wrong direction. So how do we even begin or engage them in a dialogue about gender equality, about breaking down gender stereotypes in news media or in advertisements? Once again, thank you for your most inspiring presentation. Thank you for your question. From the marketing perspective, maybe we could approach it this way. In marketing textbooks, and let me emphasize that there are many of them, it's always mentioned that we need to be aware of the perils of gender blindness. Normally, men are being portrayed as being more hands-on, technical. They play a dominant role in the labor market. Let's say today you're trying to market a pink phone. A pink phone is usually used by a female character in the advertisement, and some more masculine products are usually featured being used or operated by men. So this is quite pervasive. Gender and products, their correlations are usually have formed a fixed idea in the general public's mind. For example, the vacuum cleaners, are they just tools predominantly used by women? So in school, we often ask students the questions to inspire them to think differently. So when these advertisers think about the slogans or the direction of their advertisements, we want to enhance their awareness of gender blindness through education so that we can reduce the risks of objectification of women and gender stratification and stereotyping when it comes to marketing products. Thank you for your input. So we need to break down, move away from the traditional framework. We need to break down that fixed relationship that we have formed in our mind about certain products and certain genders. Sometimes when we think of certain products, we associate them with only being used by certain genders, and that definitely has to be changed, or that sort of association has to be removed, if you will. True, through education, through dialogues with students, we often raise this issue. However, it's very hard to have this conversation with the industry. I often raise this issue and discuss these associated issues with the students. I lead a research group, and sometimes people argue that I'm not aware that I am reinforcing the gender stereotypes. I think this is a very common situation that we come across. They are blind or oblivious toward the mistakes they're making. That's why conversations are very, very important. For example, we often walk down the streets, the bidona stands, the street side vendors sometimes often employ young, attractive women to sell their products. So sometimes we would have conversations with authorities. We would have the local municipality administrators and said, how do you market a city tourism when people getting off the highway, when they get to the downtown area, they see all these advertisements and signboards featuring sexually available women and advertisements and images that degrade women. So this is not consistent with SDG. So we need to have such conversations with the authorities or with people who put out the signboards about being more genderly aware. So maybe the next question, I would like to invite Dan, Ms. Chang, to respond. You talked about making technologies, agriculture technologies, medical technologies available to people of different genders. Technologies, you said, are not really gender neutral. There are also differences in the level of access between different age groups and different. So when it comes to these generational gaps, you mentioned that older women may have less access and capability or competence in using technologies. What can be done? How can they be encouraged to take a more active role in adopting these technologies? So what are the considerations that should be taken into account from your perspective?
Actually, I think we can learn a lesson from the LGBTI movement, because LGBTI movement is a big thing in Taiwan, and we have gained a lot of progress in past like 2 decades. And so when we first talk about LGBTI, we talk about like, okay, so how we can build LGBTI-friendly campus, how we can build LGBTI-friendly working environment. And we are having more and more like the diversity, inclusion, and equity department in private sectors. And those department, their purpose is to promote the environment to be more inclusive. So I think same strategy can be applied to promoting senior women's access to technology. So first, when you can just imagine like your grandma, like who are in their like 60 or 70 or 80s, it's when they talk about technology, they're so afraid of using them because they have so many stereotypes around it. They just feel, oh, it's too complicated and I'm too old to learn new stuff. And how can you make them feel comfortable to using technology? So that's a very simple question to yourself. And if you can answer that in your family, and then you can bring your answers to people around you, and then we can like eventually build a more friendly and inclusive environment for them. And also, I think like I see more and more like neighborhood in Taiwan, they're beginning to have this like free training for senior people, teaching them how to use digital mobile phones and smartphones. I think it's very useful lessons for them because, you know, especially during the pandemic, because you know, senior women are most vulnerable group during the pandemic, and they're easy to get. They're very vulnerable, and we in order to protect them, we try to avoid seeing them, avoid visiting them. But they will feel lonely. Then they use smartphone a lot to get so we can have FaceTime, like we can keep connected. But if they don't know how to use it, or they don't know, like they are not good at using it, they will just isolate from the whole world. So I think the pandemic actually kind of encouraged senior populations to learn all those smartphones and all those devices, digital devices. But still, like who will teach them? Like, because like even for myself, like I always feel like sometimes I just lose patience when I have this discussion with my own mom. So I think it's just like soft reminder, like we are the generation who grew up in the digital age, but they are not. And something we take it granted are not part of their education, are not part of their living experience. And then how to bring those to them. Actually, Flame conducted a series of workshops for not senior women, but senior population this year. Like we try to teach them some very easy but useful tools on apps on smartphones, and hoping them, encouraging them to use these apps more frequently, and to get this intimacy with technology. I think that's very important. Just make them feel like they can learn, and they are young enough to learn. And it's very important.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I have the same experiences, because my son always lost patience about when I ask him to help me to solve some problems in my internet, some problem, okay. So build up a friendly and supportive networking or environment is very important, right? Okay, thank you. 我们好像
Now we would like to turn our attention to the questions submitted to our chat box. But before we check on those questions, perhaps we could ask the two panelists to answer another questions. What are the recommendations or suggestions that you would give to women as they overcome these technical issues and difficulties?
Well, actually, I want to talk something new, but not really new, because actually during the pandemic, you know, the needs for caring work increased dramatically in different contexts, in every country, in every family. And so there is a statement made by UN Women in these 2 years, and you can find by keyword. So basically, it's a call for action. They hope digital marketing can at least do one principle, which is avoid harmful stereotype. because during the pandemic, we need to teach people to wash hands. We need to teach people to wear your mask, and we need to remind people to take care of your family. And all those things are about carrying work, and all those things, when we imagine all those work, it's very easy to think about women are the one who take all those works. And if we do digital marketings in that kind of concept, that could be harmful stereotype, because that will reinforce women's stereotype as like caregivers. It's just like what Professor Hu just mentioned. And I think I think it's very, because in my previous sharings, I always get the question, because digital marketing is hard, and it's very hard to have a new concept. And so companies just keep complaining. So it's not because we do not want to promote something good. It's just like we don't have good idea. We are not big company like Dove, like Google, like IKEA. But actually, I know it's challenging to do something new, but it's not that hard to stop doing something. Something existed. So I think the call for application by UN Women is very useful. So for companies who want to do digital marketing, the first principle could be stop doing harmful stereotypes, or stop enforcing those harmful stereotypes. I think that's very helpful statement.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for the suggestion. Dr. Hu.
我想很重要的就是我会提到就是对于整个的一个数媒还有对政府的一些
When it comes to my suggestions for digital media and the government, first, I think the most important thing is we need to use the gender statistics, and we need to focus more on the new information or new knowledge about gender. Actually, the new knowledge may come from other countries. We have to learn from other countries about new gender knowledge. As for gender statistics, we have a statistics for gender discrimination. A lot of media may report the gap in the statistics. But if you only focus on a gap, it will become a fact. For example, around the world, we see that women's income is only 70 or 80% of the men, so we do not see equal pay around the world. So that's why we can see the discrimination in statistics. The employers think, well, they just take it for granted. Well, women should only get 80% of the salary of men. So I think when it comes to the discrimination of gender statistics, this is a serious problem. Also, I think in digital media, it should create a friendlier environment for employment. Actually, people get anxious if we want to go digital. Well, from age of 32, we do see the digital divide because women have to take care of their parents, their children, so the division of labor at home is not fair. So even though women know that they should improve their digital literacy, however, there's still a great gap for accessibility and availability. That is, you can see them, but you can really use them. And women's mobility is not as good as that of men because women have to take care of the parents and children. So starting from the age of 32, women start to encounter digital divide, as mentioned by the moderator. So we hope that for our future generation, we need more help. And young people will say, oh, I don't want to stand you. You're just unbearable. Even for me, I have similar experience. So I think we need to improve the availability and accessibility of digital capability. I think this is the task of the government. We need to make a greater improvement. We need to lower the digital divide for women. Not just for women, but we have to think about the digital divide between the urban and rural area, and also the intergenerational digital divide. So I think this is what I care more about. And finally, now the government is promoting the idea about women's upskilling. That is, we need to develop the ICT capability of women, that is the STEM. So in the scientific or technological area, we would like to see more women taking up important positions. Actually, women have made outstanding contributions and achievements in science and technology. I think in Western countries, women play a very important role in science. So how can we provide better upscaling opportunities for women? When they leave school, they have to be burdened down by work or family. So women will not be able to improve their digital capability. And also in the scientific area, we love to see more heroines. This is something we have been promoting. That is, in the scientific area, we do want to see more women asserting important roles. Actually, women can have outstanding performance in the area of science. So I think when promoting education, the government should create a friendly environment for women so that they can further exert their capability and improve their digital capability at workplace. So thank you very much. Thank you, Professor. In developing STEM education, also you just mentioned these important areas. I think they are in line with the gender perspectives in media. That is, we should not adhere to the traditional stereotypes, and also to have such fixed idea or division of labor in the roles for gender. So I think it is important for us to change our awareness. We need to have further initiative and action to change our mindset.
Our panelists and your insight.
感谢我们与谈人精彩的分享。
We will have to wrap up this session, and I'm so privileged for this opportunity to take part in this discussion. And thank you for our panelists. Thank you for your wonderful sharing. And now I would like to hand the floor back to our host.
Thanks, Moderator Huang and all the panelists. Thank you so much for the wonderful discussion. That wraps up day one for our event. WEDU Seminar, Innovation, Inspiration, Inclusion. We're looking forward to having you join us again online at 2 p.m. live streaming tomorrow. Thank you so much and have a great day. Thank you.